Hey there, guys, and welcome to another episode of VIVE Group Podcast with myself, Tye and Wykie, head beard collector and owner at VIVE Group, and English enthusiast Vykie Etzebeth. How you doing today, buddy?
I'm good, man. That's the first time I've heard that. It's a good one.
English enthusiast, you're getting there.
Yeah, I am getting better at it. It's only taken me 15 years, but getting the hang of the language slowly, you know?
What?
It's a hard language, man.
It's the easiest language I've known. I don't know.
Good,
I don't know what to tell you. All right, let's jump straight into it. We've got a lot to talk about today. First thing I want to talk about, the topic of the town. CrossFit HQ's new exercise demonstration videos for the elderly.
Oh, man. I'm so torn here, man, because I love the videos. Don't get me wrong. I actually really like them. But I feel like they've been going forever. I thought when I started posting them, they're going to be like a little series or, you know, like some videos sprinkled across all the other content. But it seems like that's all they're posting at the moment.
Right.
And for me as a box owner, like, you know, we've got some 50, 60 plus year olds, but they're certainly not the majority of my gym. So, yeah, I don't know, man. Mixed feelings.
I was the same. I thought it was going to be a series. You know, HQ is very good at making a point. You know, they put out some stuff just to say like, hey, by the way, we do this, you know, in case you didn't know. That's what I thought they were going to be. I thought it was there to make a point, you know. What it seems to be is, you know, it's the pendulum effect. For years, I think everyone can agree, the pendulum swung way too far towards the elite games level athlete type side of things. And it seems like they've just swung way, you know, what's the complete opposite of that? You know, we can't get, you know, can we get people that are dead to do? No, okay, shit, they can't do it. All right, well, what's almost there? All right, let's get them to demonstrate movements. And I was the same, man. People were talking shit about it when it first came out, and I was the first to defend it at seminars and say, this is awesome, this is a cool direction. I like this as an indication of the future direction of CrossFit, because if there's one thing HQ sucks at, it's communicating direction. And then it just kept going, and it kept going, and it didn't get any more sensible. And now they've got a new set.
Man, it's ridiculous.
This new set has a TV that has wooden legs. It's not on wooden legs. The TV has wooden legs. It's the kind of TV that would give you cancer if you sat in front of it for a full episode of Game of Thrones. It gives off that much radiation. It's the oldest thing I've ever seen, and it's so comical.
It's bizarre, eh? Because I think the elderly these days, I'm pretty sure they've got like flat screen TVs on their walls.
Yeah.
Like I don't mind you using old people to demonstrate the movements, but the sets just make zero sense to me. It's not relatable to anyone. It looks, it's pretty funny actually.
Yeah, man. My nana's rocking that 50-inch LCD.
I know, man.
Better than mine.
But more so than the TV, what about the bottles of the blue, whatever the blue stuff is in there, you know, that are being swung around? No one's swinging bottles of fluid inside it.
No, that's the same blue liquid they use on tampon commercials to show how absorbent they are. I think that's what that is. That lady works for Tampax, and that's all she had lying around. Obviously.
Oh man.
No, it's insane. That one, those other ones, the early videos that most of the people will have seen. I love people online are calling that the Al Bundy basement because
oh man,
yeah, it's rough, man. Again, I don't know where they're heading with it. I think they've made their point.
Yeah.
Move on.
Yeah.
You know, move on. I think there's better things to be spending affiliate owners' dollars on, but or don't move on. It's fucking hilarious either way.
Yeah, it's certainly not. I don't think like it's serving me much as a affiliate owner. I'd post some of those videos amongst other videos, but I feel like it's getting a bit too much.
It doesn't hold up with the like if you showed me one of those videos. Oh, by the way, we didn't talk about the music.
Oh
man, the music, it's like from a period movie just after your favorite character dies, and it's slow motion of them just grasping at the air. Or it's like there's that song off Donnie Darko.
Yeah,
it's that, you know, that if you listen to it more than 3 times you get depression.
Yeah,
that's what the music
I
is.
think the first comment I was watching before, the first comment, it wasn't even, they weren't having a go at the video even. They were just so disappointed. This person just said, this is so depressing. Why are they even posting this? Yeah, man, the music choices are not great, eh?
Yep.
Yeah.
So HQ,
who knows, man?
You're definitely not listening, but if you are, cool. Point made. Maybe move on. Again, or don't. Get sillier. I'd love to see it be a troll. And, you know, next week it's just a White Walker from Game of Thrones.
In a graveyard. Doing air squats.
Well, while we're talking about media, we were talking about this earlier. We're both big fans of media. We've dedicated a lot of our time to it both professionally and recreationally. And, not that long ago, a year ago, maybe less, we had a leg up. We had the right gear. We had we knew what to do with it. We could make some nice stuff. And, our content in terms of online content was above and beyond. And now everyone's catching up, and this isn't just with us. This is kind of a broader question of, well, what do you do with media to stand out in 2019?
Yeah, man. I very much, took pride. Help me out here. Yeah, took pride. That's the right word, isn't it?
English enthusiast.
I took pride in the fact that our social media for Anfit was, I felt like it was a step ahead of the rest in our area, in our city. And I actually don't follow any other boxes, but I had a quick look the other day to see what people are posting. And man, I was very surprised at the quality of video and photo that gyms in my city were putting out. And it was kind of a bit of a kick in the butt. Now, I was happy because obviously, we believe in the whole, rising tide lifts all boats, all that stuff. But at the same time, I felt good being ahead of the game.
Competitive.
And yeah, I'm competitive. And I realized pretty quickly that, there's people putting out some really legit videos, some videos that I think I might not be able to create myself even at the moment. So, yeah, man, you're certainly not alone anymore if you're creating great photo and video. Everyone knows how to use, software now to edit videos and photos and use gimbals and all those fancy things. And if they don't, they've got members or staff that do. So, yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah, I think now it's got to be all about the message, because really creating a good visual, creating cinematics, that's the easy part. Getting across a story, that's the part that sucks. Yep. That's the part that's hard work. And I think whether you're trying to tell a story like a member's story or whether you're trying to do what we do more, which is give value, there's got to be a little bit of soul to it. There's got to be a little bit of personality to it. And that's harder. But, in the same way that once upon a time equipment, divided the men from the boys, in terms of who got the eyes, where the attention went. Now I think we're just moving on to the next step where it's your intent is going to determine, where the attention goes. Yeah,
and I think the amount of, or the quality of media now will just highlight what you're about. So if you're someone who's really passionate about the comp scene, you're probably going to make a sick video that looks really good, but it's going to be about your athletes doing all these advanced movements with their shirts off, and it's not going to really be relevant to the everyday human being. So I think it's almost going to just highlight where people's hearts or where their intentions are at. So yeah, you're right. It's all about the message and the actual story rather than, how good it looks, I think.
Yeah, 100%. And for those who kind of haven't caught up to that wave, it just doubles down on the fact that you need to. You don't need all the stupid gear that we buy to create great videos, especially within the confines of what you're trying to create for the box. Your iPhone or your Galaxy or whatever phone you've got will do it. But more than ever, you can't slack. No one's slacking anymore. Seeing impressive content at gyms is not rare anymore.
Yeah, but I'm so torn because I listened to your podcast with Corey last week, and just listening to him say, I haven't spent $1 on marketing and I purely focus on referrals. Again, to me, it just showed that your priorities have to be in line. Like it's great to be creating good content, but the argument can be made, and he's clearly displayed it that you can grow your business with none of that stuff,
Kind of. He's got like 1,000 members.
Yeah,
if he had 1,000,
yeah,
and 10,
we need a couple more to make the point, but. So I don't know. I feel like there is a pressure. There is almost an unhealthy pressure to, keep up with the rest of the market, when it comes to creating content, and it could be an unhealthy pressure and maybe unnecessary pressure, like maybe if you just focus on providing a better service and looking after your current members more and your coaches, maybe you don't have to put out 60 videos and photos. I don't know. For
sure. No, I agree. It's very easy for us, especially because we do enjoy it so much, to get caught in the weeds and forget that it really is the cherry on top. There's plenty of boxers out there that are wildly successful. Corey being a great example, that do no media. That's not their thing. If you've got a shitty framework, or shitty foundation, having great media is not going to fix it. You're just wrapping a turd in gold at that point. Yep. I'm glad you brought up Corey. Can we talk about that?
Yeah, man. Let's bring up Corey for sure.
Dude, I
love that guy.
That was the best podcast I've ever done. That was.
Oh, thanks, bro. I thought, yeah, okay. That's
Well,
right.
no, you're taking it the wrong
No,
way.
you're right.
All I mean is it was better than anything I've ever done with you. That's all I meant.
Okay,
Okay.
that's good.
But, no, seriously, I've known Corey. I think this year is my 10th year of knowing Corey. And like when I say I know Corey, I've, he was a member first, and then he was a partner. What do you call it? Like a physio partner of the gym, and then he was a coach, a full-time coach for a long time. I've stayed at Corey's house in Japan. You know, we're good friends, and I learned so much about him in that episode because he's so humble, he's so quiet. I thought he had I knew he had 2 gyms. I thought maybe he had 3, and then it turns out he has 7 with 1,000 members, 37 staff. Like,
You gotta look out for the quiet ones, man. He's just a quiet achiever and doesn't like to. Yeah, I've known him for a little bit, and we've had good chats. But again, yeah, he doesn't talk a lot about what he's doing or how well he's doing. He just goes about his business, and just a great dude. Like the thing that stood out for me most about that podcast was the way he spoke about his relationship with the staff. I think he used the phrase, "I am the master of their life."
Yeah,
it was amazing. Just amazing that that's the way he views his relationship with the staff. That I'm responsible for, these guys' growth, not only as coaches but as people. I want them to be great people. I'm invested in helping them become those great people. It brought chills. I'm actually got chills right now because just the way I love his voice first of all, but just he generally cares so deeply about his staff and the people who work for him. It's unreal.
Yeah, I've been to one of his gyms, his first gym, CrossFit Hamachi A+, such a Japanese name. And I really noticed the interactions between him. It was kind of like, that's what a leader role is. It's not hierarchical in the sense of, oh, hello, boss, or anything like that. But, they looked at him differently, in a good way. There was a real respect and real earned respect, not just because he was older than them or anything like that. And again, when we're talking about success on that scale, and he's done the majority of it from Australia, you can't do it without staff that are into it like that.
Yeah,
you can't do it without staff that trust you. And yeah, man, he is the master of their life.
He's an amazing leader, man. Like even when we had our gym here on the Gold Coast, he would on a regular basis fly his staff over to come and train at our gym, but also all the other gyms on the coast that are not necessarily CrossFit affiliates. But I remember asking him, why do you just bring them here for the whole week to train? Why are you going to all these other gyms? And he wanted to show them, he wanted to give them exposure to how a bunch of different gyms are run so they can pick up little golden nuggets from all these other gyms. So he would take them to F45 and to all the other kind of boxes around the area, and just for their development and their training.
Beautiful, man.
Beautiful. Yeah.
He's a great dude.
You're a great dude.
If you're listening, Corey, good
Wow.
on you, buddy. Good on you. Well, while we're talking about staff, we were talking about this earlier, about how much your staff care and expectations and managing your own expectations. Because a lot of box owners, their whole thing is, I wish my staff gave a shit. I wish they cared as much as I do. And that's pretty ridiculous. If they cared as much as you do, they would own the business. So I like kind of your take on it, if you want to share that.
Yeah, I'm not going to use the example I should have used because I think it's disgusting and I don't want people on the other side of the airwaves to throw up. Or should I use it?
Yeah, tell it.
I'll use it, My best friend, he's a savage. When his kids' noses are blocked, he will put his mouth over their noses and suck the snot out to clear their sinuses. And so I don't know why I thought about this example, but I was thinking, imagine if he expected the babysitter to do that as well. It'd be very unrealistic. Obviously if you get a babysitter to look after your kids, I'm so sorry for those who are I can just picture it now. I can picture it right now. You're eating a breakfast, you're watching the podcast, and you just throw up all over. But if you get a babysitter right, you expect them to do a great job with your kids. You expect them to meet some standards and have your kids safe, and but you can't expect them to go to that level. That's just not realistic. And so when it comes to your staff, they've got to meet the expectations that you've set for them. But I think so often, and I've done this so many times, I expect my staff to do stuff that they shouldn't have to do, and I get really gutted and really pissed off if they don't do it. If they don't come to those social events, or they don't stay up till midnight helping me move the box. It's like, I'm not paying them for it. It's not part of their job description to turn up to social events or to help me move my box. If they're doing it on a voluntary basis. So I think it's such a healthy thing to just go, okay, what have I expected of them? Like, what have I communicated are the job what's the job description, and anything outside of that, I can't get disappointed if they don't do those things, because it's not their business, it's not their baby, you know. It's a hard one though. I get gutted all the time, and I have to kind of check myself again on this one.
100%.
Yeah.
You know, I think the flip side of it is be grateful that they care as much as they do, because, you know, people working at Walmart or Kmart or wherever, they don't give a shit. You know, like our staff care way more than they should, you know, way more than any just normal staff member. You know, if they kind of explained how much they give a shit about your gym to one of their friends, I'm sure their friends would be blown away with that commitment. But we're coming at it with a lack of empathy. We're looking at it through our own lens and not, you know, realizing that it's not their gym, you know. Now, on that, the reason I want to point out is, you know, and by the way, that example is horrifying. And I thought I was a good dad and that I cared, and that's just knocked me down 4 pegs, because I'm not sucking anything out of my daughter's nose. She can deal with it. She can just suffer with bad sinuses. That's horrendous. But once we look at it and say, okay, well, would a normal employee at a normal business do half of the stuff that my staff do for me? And I'm still complaining, you know. Like, once we get a bit of perspective, I think it's time to go, oh shit, and actually thank our staff, give them a hug, give them a pat on the back, shake their hand, because, you know, okay, they don't care as much as you. Cool. That fine. They never will. Stop, manage your expectations. But shit, they care a lot more than they need to. You know, they care a lot more than a normal person. So, yeah, I kind of get bummed out when I hear box owners complain about it, because we're fucking lucky.
Yeah, for sure. But then also don't confuse them not meeting the job description and what you've, you know, like, I think a lot of gym owners, they'll see their staff, you know, fall short of the standards that they've agreed to meet, and they fail to communicate that effectively straight away, and it builds up this resentment. So there is that side as well, where, you know, you got to have clear standards that the staff agree to meet, and then if they don't meet them, that's different. You know, that's them actually not doing their job. So it's just you know, distinguishing between the two. You know, the difference between your expectations that are outside of the scope of their job, and then keeping them accountable for those things that they have agreed to meet. So yeah, right. Tough one, man.
A little bit of systems, a little bit of consistency.
Yeah,
goes a long way.
Yeah.
All right, so one thing I wanted to talk about today, because I toss up between whether this is a personality flaw of my own or whether this is a necessary part of being a business owner, but I want to talk about rewarding yourself, about, you know, taking the time, taking the resources, another English enthusiast, and giving yourself a pat on the back, you know, and I'm kind of in that spot now. I just bought myself a car. I did it very specifically. I did it partly as a pat on the back for where the business is at, but also just as a constant. You know, every day is different. I'd love to say that every day at VIVE Group is happy-go-lucky and perfect, but it's not. It's a business, and some days fucking suck, and some weeks suck, and then some days are amazing, and I get to do everything I ever dreamed of. And so for me, the car was consistent. You know, it was something to, no matter how the middle of the day went, the start and the end, the bookends of my day were nice and pleasurable, and I was in something that I earned, and I felt good about earning. And I kind of I treat this as a wrongly. I treat this as a personality flaw, that, you know, I need reward for hard work. You know, I've still got a bit of that army mentality of just shut up and do the fucking job. You know, you don't get a pat on the back, you just do what's needed. And yeah, where do you sit on this? What do you think? Should we just shut up and get on with it, or should we give ourselves a high five every now and then?
So I think there's two ways you can look at this, and I think people reward themselves for two different reasons. Some people reward themselves to get away from pain. So, for example, you know, you might have a tough week, things aren't going the way that you planned, you know, you're losing money or whatever the scenario is, and to escape that pain, you go and spend money thinking, oh, I deserve something nice, you know, and I think it's an unhealthy way to reward yourself. I think, you know, we probably need to go for a walk on the beach, or have a chat to your wife, or meditate, or do something along those lines, you know, take a buddy for a beer. And then there is the wise rewarding yourself, where it's like, you know what, I'm going to be intentional about making sure I get something back from my hard work, you know, because we do, as business owners, can often sacrifice for the sake of our, you know, our members and our staff, and often we put ourselves last on the list, and I think it's dangerous. I think you really got to look after yourself first, make sure you're happy and healthy to be able to give your best to everyone else around you. So rewarding yourself and planning rewards like holidays in advance is a great way to just stay positive and have something to look forward to. I think it's super, super valuable. So if that's the way you're approaching rewarding yourself, then absolutely. If it's just a short-term I feel crap, I need to escape, then maybe not. So
I do both. I'm pretty terrible. You know me well enough that I'm my solution to oh shit, I'm broke or I have no money this week is to go spend more money. And but I'm aware of it and I'm fixing it, and so fuck off. But it's we talked about it before. Like you talked about holidays. I'm a big fan of anyone listening right now. If you don't have a holiday booked, and I mean not planned, not wouldn't it be nice, but booked. Pick a part of that holiday that you can afford. Ideally, a non-refundable part of that holiday, and book it. Right, so okay, maybe you can't afford the flights, but you can afford the accommodation, right? $800 accommodation, cool. Book that today, and then everything else will work it out, right? All of our resources compress and expand to the space given to them, right? So it's like when you're at university and you're given 3 months to do an assignment, but you fuck around and drink and you compress it to the night before, right? You still get it done, and you'll get it done as good or better the night before, right? It's the same thing with finances, right? Time and finances. You will find time. I mean, we talk about it at the seminar. You need to put hobbies in place, once a week, and just do them and put that into your schedule. And the rest of the week will expand or compress around it, and it'll work it out. And it's the same thing with money. In a situation like this, you deserve it. Unless you're in your first 6 months of owning a box. If you're in your first 6 months of owning a box, you don't deserve shit. You don't get to sleep. You get to work. Welcome to owning a box. But after that, you deserve it. Book it. Everything else will work out around it. Like when people go, "Oh, we have to wait until we get more staff, or we have to we've got the staff, but we just have to wait until they're trained up." What motivation have you got to get more staff? What you don't have a timeline to train them up. Book a fucking holiday. Now you've got a timeline. Or you're going away for 2 weeks in November. Cool. Guess what? You have to have staff. It's not a goal. It's not an intention. It's, well, if you don't have staff, you've booked the flights or you've booked the accommodation. You've burnt the boats. You have no fucking choice.
I love living this way. It's honestly one of the things I do. I bring the smoke, or, I blow the smoke, and then I've got to bring the fire. Like I say I'm going to do something, or I'll talk about something that isn't even in place yet, and I say that this is what's happening, or this is what we're doing, and then I've got no choice but to make it happen. And I respond well under that pressure. I don't know if everyone else are the same, but I'm a massive fan of that approach. Just book it.
Big time.
Book it and make it happen.
We just started kind of working pretty much yesterday, the last couple of days, on our team retreat. Every year, the VIVE team, because we're spread out all over the world, we don't really get to see each other a whole bunch in person. So every year we take everybody away to a spot and hang out and adventure and explore. And last year was Iceland in November, which was amazing. And now we're planning Africa for a bit of a safari adventure and a bit of shark diving. And I was flat. I'll be honest, I'm still kind of flat. I'm pretty fucking exhausted. The last few weeks have been pretty intense. But that in the back of my mind, knowing that, okay, not only do we have this plan till the end of the year, but the business can't just do okay for that to happen. It's a significant cost. We have to fucking crush 2019 for us to be able to do that. And there's no option not to do it. There's a reason that I've already told everyone on the team we're doing it, because I feel a lot stronger responsibility to everyone else than I do myself. And so cancelling it on myself is easy, but cancelling it on the team, saying, "Hey, sorry guys, we're not going shark diving. We're not going to go, fucking wrestle lions or whatever we're going to do." That's just not an option. And so, I'm a big fan of throw it out there. Make the jump and build the parachute on the way down, because you're waiting, and this goes for everything, guys. You're waiting for the right day. You're waiting for the right day to open your gym. You're waiting for the right day to start paying yourself. You're waiting for the right day to take your vacation. You were waiting. No, there's no such thing.
No, there really isn't. There's always going to be something else you can spend the money on. It's always going to be other challenges. You just have to make it happen. Yeah, I love it.
Got to make the jump. All right, last thing I wanted to talk about real quick is casual box owners. Is there a place for them anymore? So I guess another way to put it is hobbyist box owners. Is there a place for when I say a place, this isn't making a personal statement about anyone. This is there a place in the market now for casual hobbyist gym owners?
Sure, I think there is. As long as that casual hobbyist gym owner expects a casual hobbyist return, then I think so. I think, sure. If you just want a space where your family and friends can come and train, and you're not going to make any money and pay for the rent out of your own pocket, then yeah, sure. But yeah, there's certainly no space in the market for a hobbyist gym owner to compete with real gyms or with real, yeah. So, yeah.
Yeah, I think, I guess I should clarify, people who want to play in the big leagues but want to still treat it casually.
Nah, there's no way.
There's no place.
Nah, it's no place. It's that day's long gone.
Long gone.
Yeah. I think it's just, there's too many great gyms out there now. There's just too many clued on professional gym owners with great staff and great service that you just, no one's going to last in the gym, Yeah.
I think a lot of people forget, and it's nice to have a little timely reminder now that, especially CrossFit boxers, we get caught up in this CrossFit world, and we think that's our world, and that's very from the inside looking out. From the outside looking in, according to the market, we're just in the fitness industry.
Yeah,
right. We're in one of the most dog eat dog, second highest failure rate of any business industry in the world. The fitness industry is a motherfucker. You've got to have real big balls to get into it, and or ovaries, not sexist, whatever. And you've got to back that up to stay in it. It's a real fucking hard industry.
Yeah.
And I think finally, a lot of box owners are kind of having that reality. It's a harsh reality as well, but a lot of people are realizing like, oh, I can't just, you've got great coaching, cool. So does the guy down the road, or he doesn't, and his clients don't know any different. You've got all the road gear in the world, you've got more airdynes, no one gives a shit. You have to have sound business practices, both front of house and back of house. And I just think anyone who's not willing to treat this like a profession, I personally don't think that there's a space for them anymore.
Yeah, I agree. 100%.
And that's okay. Is there a space for hobbyist heart surgeons? No, and that's okay. We don't need that. The industry doesn't need that. The market doesn't need that. So anyway, man, any other thoughts? Anything else going on?
Oh, man, I thought it was good. There's some good stuff in there. Apart from the snot sucking, it was about other than that, it was a good podcast. Yeah.
Savagery.
Yeah,
absolute
man.
Savagery. All right, guys, so that's it. If there's anything you would like us to discuss on the next podcast, let us know. Drop a comment or shoot us a message. If there's any guests that you think we should have on, anyone in this community that we don't know of that we should, that has an interesting story, maybe you have an interesting story that we should share, let us know. But besides that, have an amazing, amazing week. Get after it. No one's going to do it for you. Thanks, folks.
Thanks, man.
Cheers.